agenda?
Yes, now we approve that agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been approved and seconded. All those who approve say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, minutes from the last meeting. Does everyone have minutes they can look at? Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
So moved.
Mark? Okay, we have a, yes. All those who approve say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And the minutes have been approved. Okay. We're gonna move kind of quick because we've got a lot to cover tonight. We've got some visitors, which is awesome. Okay, so new business. So we're talking Iowa Trust and Savings and Street Art Designs. So you wanna go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit?
Absolutely. Yep, thanks, Ruth.
Mhm.
I'm Rick Brennan. I'm the president of Iowa Trust and Savings Bank. We've been here since November. It's been a great experience. We have made the decision to build a new building. This is not, how do I say, confidential, but the FDIC owns the building. We did a thorough inspection, had a couple sources come in and look at it, and it just doesn't meet our needs, nor does it meet the community's needs. It needs to be handicap accessible, and we need to have some amenities such as an attached drive-up. So we've made the decision to build a new building in the community. Timelines, we hope to be in the new site, and I sit around, I think everybody's got a copy of, it says proposed, but it's not proposed, it's gonna happen. And the second page is what it's going to look like from the south view. We hope to be there by April 1st. We have to be out of our building by May 1st, so we've got a bit of a tight time.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
hoping to have final estimates on the numbers here by Friday. And once we have that, we hope to move ground and have a groundbreaking pretty quickly thereafter. But exciting stuff. We've been putting a lot of time into this. It's going to be, I think, a very nice looking building for the community, and have all the things we need to have from a very efficient standpoint. What we would like to throw out to this council is we need some help. We're bankers. We're definitely not artists and those kinds of things, but we love what Sac City has to offer. When you come into town, it really pops on the east side. It just looks great. We want to make sure we do something similar, but we need help with that. As I said, we don't have a lot of creativity on our side. So I've been talking to Jaimie a little bit about this a couple of times at least, about, you know, what kind of things can we put in front of this group to maybe have some suggestions thrown back at us, say, hey, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? So that's kind of why I'm here tonight, so we start that conversation.
Yeah, get some brainstorming.
Yeah, just kind of see what you guys think, and maybe I can come back at some point in time too. And I'm an open book if you need me. I'll give you my cell phone number if you ever want that. It's 712-887-0433. I'm here on Mondays and Fridays for the staff and for the community as well too. But really looking for some insights and some help. We want the yellow portion to tie in with Sac City.
Okay.
We want to make sure we have the landscaping similar, but we want to put our Iowa Trust logo
Sure.
in there. But what type of a sculpture or something would tie us into Sac City? Just to kind of make sure we make that look great when you come up from the west side of town too. We'll have an electronic sign. You can see on the picture there'll be a large E sign on the west side of the property that'll have all the community stuff going on.
Over
This kind of
there.
thing, Lance,
Okay.
this is perfect for this, that kind of thing.
There you go,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's what it's made for, that's why we have it. But that yellow portion, you can see, that's where we need ideas and help and
That
thoughts.
section you'd like to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the flagpole, you can see will be right in the middle of that, just to give you a bit of a reference too, so. But yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking, and we're gonna forge forward, and hopefully we can partner with the council and come up with some great ideas, so.
All right.
Julie Leonard's at Iowa Trust is retiring this year. She's been with us 46 years. Julie's our marketing specialist. She's also our home lender in Emmitsburg. She has a really, really keen eye for these kinds of things. So she helped us do a similar project in Emmitsburg about 5 or 6 years ago, a mural park, when you come into town. So I probably pulled Julie into the conversation as kind of her, last hurrah, so to speak. But anything we can do to help, anything we can do to maybe gather some ideas, we're all ears. So.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm gonna let Renee introduce herself and kind of tell you your part in all our work around town.
I'm Renea Jacobson. I'm one of the 3 trustees for the John Chris Trust.
Nice to meet
I
you.
don't know if you've heard much about the trust.
I have. Cheryl's been great, kind of getting to understand it. She
And-
gave me your name as well too, so yeah.
So yeah, Cheryl and Sam just invited me here and wondered if I'd have some ideas on what might work.
Great.
When we started the artwork, we just decided to go with a nature theme.
Yep.
As you drive around, you can see everything is, the art is tied into the natural habitat in the area and everything you see. So, I did people always say, where do you come up with ideas?
Right.
Google and Pinterest.
Hey.
Whatever works, right?
And whatever catches my eye, and, if you ever notice the street signs downtown.
Yes.
The new, and if you saw the chief clothing logo,
Mhm.
it was in the C for the chief was the C and an arrow that went through it.
Nice.
That's why we went with that.
Sure.
There again, found it on Pinterest. Same thing, I don't know if you noticed the dandelions at
Mhm.
South
I-
Park.
Yes.
I was looking for lighting, and that was something that popped up, and we've got a great artist, a welder in Auburn, and Tanner King at Martin's Welding, and he's been wonderful, he's done everything for us, and it just, yeah, he's so easy to work with, and I've always thought very reasonably priced
Wonderful,
too,
wonderful.
so. I came up with a few things, I'll just
Yeah,
show
great.
it to you.
Yep.
Just kinda tying you with the nature
Sure.
theme. One is like a leaf or feather sculpture. That would be like stainless steel with a light up through.
Very nice.
One of the things you have to remember at the corner is the, turning traffic and visibility, and I don't remember what that is. Jaimie,
It's
know that.
4 foot if it's certain distance, I'd have to look up
Sure.
I don't recall, I don't know how far back that is.
Is this, we were talking last week, there's a little like triangle section there that's city owned, is this gonna go on the city property, is this gonna go on the bank property?
City, right?
City property, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the city property is pretty close to the
Yeah.
corner, I think, so that might influence your.
Size, yep.
Now there is
Oh, wow.
birds,
Sure.
birds swirling, and this is a little more simplified, but I wasn't sure how much area you were talking, or,
Yeah, these are awesome ideas.
but, there again, it just ties in with the nature, you
It
could do
does.
leaves or feathers.
That really jumped at you.
I think, make it big
Yeah.
enough and with the lighting.
We just
And-
relogoed about 6 months ago, and it ties into that logo.
Oh,
Because
okay,
part of, there's a leaf inside that's how we then designed it,
Oh.
with the nature theme to it, with housing and ag and those kind of things that we're involved in, but that really kind of feathers in well with that.
and I can
Interesting.
send that to you on your phone.
Yeah, do
so
you mind?
get-
That'd be
yeah,
great.
yeah,
That'd be
I can do
wonderful.
that.
Renee, why don't you send it to me, and then
Yes.
I'll share this with you,
That'd be great.
this that I'm gonna show you, cause there's some other things on here too.
Sure,
So,
that'd be great. That'd be great.
we had a group chat going, and people sent messages in, or sent links in, so this is what I've got, if you look at the screen, so this is,
Oh, wow.
the one in color
Mhm.
is in Marion, Iowa, Cedar
Okay.
Rapids, Iowa.
Sure.
It is massive, it is huge, that's a roundabout, a traffic
Oh,
roundabout.
sure, yep, yep.
But the whole idea of a cornfield, I know you had mentioned, or Jaimie had mentioned to us that you wanted it to have kind of an ag
Sure,
theme.
yeah.
Then the little one down in the corner there is just a wall hanging, but if it were something framed out like that with a silhouette of a cornfield,
Oh, wow,
so, doing something along that line.
right.
When Jaimie had presented this to us, I think it's a great idea, I love it. My thought is it needs to be something that is interactive, so that you can take your selfie with it.
Sure,
So that's what I would like to see somehow,
Nice.
So that's one thing. This is one that Lance had sent us. This is awesome, would be incredibly difficult to do, so I'll click the link here. Just keep watching.
oh my.
It takes a bit to see it, but that, so something like that,
Mhm.
it is amazing, and I love it. I'd have no idea how to do it.
That's why we pay people.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be elephants and giraffes.
No, it wouldn't be, to do farm animals, which
Right.
is the next slide. Now, if I can get to it. Come on. So something along that line with farm animals.
Oh, wow.
You see, if you were to,
Mhm.
somehow if they were able to do that, so that type of thing.
That's amazing. You look at that, the livestock in the area, and rodeo, and all those good things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So those, and then again, thinking of the interactive, so the horse in this and the
Mhm.
plow in this are sculptures. The man is not. So if you know, to have your opportunity for a photo or a selfie type
Yeah,
thing.
man. What's interesting about that, Reed, we remodeled the Emmitsburg location 20 years ago, and we had a plow in front of the bank.
Oh, okay.
The Spees family had that, and they put it in storage at that point in time, but that was always a family heirloom, but it's interesting to see that, because that was something they took a lot of pride in.
Sure.
The bank was formed in 1929 in the Depression, but it's been an ag bank ever since, and that was a huge deal for us
Yeah.
at the time too. That's interesting.
So use that, you know.
Interesting.
The other thing that has been talked about is some sort of seating or benches type thing. These are some
Right.
benches that, you know, that we, so none of those are like, but
I like the bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one, with the whole idea of it being lit at night.
Mhm.
So it's supposed to be like look like a fire.
Sure.
So those are some that yeah. And then, Sam had mentioned that the bike path is gonna be
Mhm.
really close, so the whole idea of tying a bike sculpture in somehow would be cool too, so.
That is
And that's some of the ideas that different communities around us
Sure.
have done.
very neat. That is very neat.
And I thought it would look pretty neat with, like night lighting and then maybe some type of like, maybe a waterfall behind
Oh.
it.
That's an
And
easy.
then during the winter,
Sure.
it would still just have the art there, but.
Right. And the exterior of the bank's gonna be lit. We've got the front of it, you can kind of see it in the picture. But the front is gonna be well lit from the exterior out, so it'll be kind of a bright beacon from the building
Yeah.
itself, so something tied in with that would be really neat.
But anyway, yeah.
Wow.
So we can look back at any of those or add to.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark, yeah, I'm sorry, Mark.
I did my homework.
Mark did his homework. So again, we had talked about.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to give you homework.
And with this,
I like
You're thinking-
things, yeah.
butterflies are important, but I was thinking having then that, talking meadow cornfield, kind of a bench in the middle of a cornfield. And it could be, I just downloaded the pink, but, I mean, it could be the green or whatever color
Yeah.
your logo
With the logo
is.
kind of green and blues, that's neat.
Another thought I had, which I didn't throw out before,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was a kinetic sculpture.
I like that idea too,
Do you
Renee.
know what a kinetic?
I do not, no. That's
I'm
why
gonna
Julie,
show you.
Julie Leonard should be with me right now.
Yeah.
I'm an old concrete guy, so.
It's something I really couldn't, print off, but I can show you what I mean.
So that would be hard to print.
Yes.
Send me the link and I can put it
Yeah,
on
you know,
here.
like flip things, where you
Yeah.
flip through it, look like the thing's moving.
This is just one.
Oh,
There's
sure.
others where they're constantly moving or this way,
Or a
just
wind
different
sculpture
ways.
type
Right.
thing.
I like the sound of the wind.
I mean, there's a lot out, here's a simpler one.
Right.
Where they're
I
going
think that
different
would look
directions,
really
but
good, like you said,
it's just called a
cornfield
kinetic
design and
sculpture.
backlit.
There's getting designs out there.
I'm so glad I came to you guys. This is good. These ideas I would never had.
Well,
That's
that's
awesome.
the brainstorming and
Yeah.
taking something from one and
Right.
another, melding them.
Wow.
So,
Well,
The idea I brought, I don't have a drawing of it, I just need to explain it. It is a sculpture, imagine a sculpture, right? It could be flat, it could be whatever, it's backlit.
Mhm.
And, in front of it is a thing that allows you to step on, you could step on like an activation switch, sort of, and there would be steam that comes up, so that you would have steam in front of this thing, and then at night, if you wanted to, because we were talking about selfies, if you wanted to, you come up and activate this thing so there's steam, and the light would show through the sculpture, so that you could take a picture in front of it.
right. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Well, I definitely gotta get Julie Leonard involved, because my creativity just got smoked. But it's, the whole premise we have is to make sure it looks good for the community. It ties in and
You
it
want it
has
to
that.
meld,
We
yeah.
want it to meld, we are very happy to be here. We feel very welcomed in Sac City. We wanna make sure this is something the community can be proud of as well too. So, but, outstanding. My question to the group is, you know, from our time frame perspective, we've got a little bit of time to put something together, but what do you need from us to come back, look at different things, or what, I guess, where does the bank go from here? What do we need to be thinking about? I think I definitely need to get Julie Leonard's involved quickly, cause she's gonna be the artistic one that can help do this.
I know that he's busy.
If you went with the guy that did the other stuff around town,
Yes.
he is busy.
Sure, oh
It's
yeah,
become very clear.
right,
If you're wanting it with your opening date, that might have to be,
yeah. That's not, to us, that's not that important. I think the biggest thing is having it, you know, landscape to match with what's going on.
right,
And then if we have to have a longer time frame for something like that, that's okay. I mean, we're here for the long haul, we're not gonna be gone in 3 months, we wanna make sure this is a long, you know,
Yeah.
process that works well. But if that works for those timeframes, we'd be more than open to doing those kind of deals, so.
What do you want our responsibility to be with this? What do you want from us?
Guidance,
Guidance?
you know, who should we work with,
Okay, okay.
you know, who can help us get it landscaped?
Mm-hmm.
Who should we talk to for, you know, sculptures and ideas, that's kind of why we're here, why I'm here.
Mhm.
Really the guidance in the process, obviously, we'll take on the process of
Sure,
making, you know, we
sure.
start the process to get to the finish.
Mm-hmm.
But having an overall group saying, hey, that looks great, or that looks terrible, what do you guys think? Yeah, before it goes up, you know, and I would propose bringing it back when we get some final ideas, or to the group and maybe look them over, and say,
Okay.
yeah, that looks good, that's really,
Tweak this. or
yeah,
tweak that.
exactly, or I wouldn't even dream of that kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, we don't wanna venture on this on our own, we wanna make sure,
No,
you know, the livestock thing is really up our alley, being in the ag bank that we are, there's some really neat things there. But at the same time too, the bike has a lot of appeal, I like the idea you got with the lit deal and people can interact in those things. That really trips my trigger, but I'm just one voice. I could see our senior directors, our 93-year-old owner, John Spees, would see that and say yes right now,
we're going with that.
guaranteed. But so I gotta make sure his son, who's the CEO of our board, sees that as well too, you know, so. It's a family-owned bank, guys, and they're tied deeply to agriculture, which we are, so I wanna make sure we have respect in all those ways, but the guidance from this group is gonna be key, helping us get from A to B, so.
speaking of that one, the horse, so that one's kind of, looks like it's made up of a little bit of everything.
It looks like junk.
Yeah.
Some parts, it
Yeah,
does. Old
yeah,
parts.
but that's what I
4-H
liked
chunk
about
Oh,
it.
yeah, me too.
That's what, you know, it was kind of rustic and,
I agree.
but when we were in Montana, we came across one that was made out of all horseshoes, and that was very nice, and I do have pictures of it somewhere.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat to look at, so, I mean, if you wanted something a little bit more sleek, I guess, instead of
Kind of,
trash.
yeah.
Well, it's not
Well,
trash.
I know,
It's not rustic, yeah, but it's old
Yeah.
parts, which I agree, I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, some good, did you see the blue horses on the mountain? The same,
Oh, yes, gorgeous, they just,
just like, there's a herd of horses there.
yeah, I'm a big fan of horses, so if it was up to me, I would
Is
throw
that-
them
Marie,
in.
could you send the presentation to me?
I
Email
will,
it to me,
I will
please?
get, yeah, if you,
I'll pass. I
Okay.
brought a few cards and didn't bring enough. Pass.
this is a Google, slideshow,
Gotcha.
so I'll share it with you and you'll
Yeah.
have access to it.
If you don't mind, that's great.
No, that's fine,
And I can add that picture in of the horses with the
yeah,
horseshoes.
we'll get a couple,
Okay.
So it's a little bit,
Renee, I'll get your things on here so that he
Yeah,
has.
that'd be great.
I guess getting a firm
Irwin's.
number on what the height has to be.
Irwin's.
Yeah, from
IRWNS.
restriction side, it'd be nice to know what we, can and can't do, and hate to block the
MCHS.
court.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
when I was reading through that, I think as long as you can see through it, there's
Okay.
not a lot of
CHSI.com.
issues if it's blocking your view.
What is our percentage?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha, alright, sounds
But-
good.
So if anybody here wants to add to this, send me the link, send me the picture, I'll add it on here, Rick, I'll share it with you,
Okay, thank you.
and then you'll have access to it and use to your heart's content.
That's excellent. I guess going to a question, from the landscaping side, needs to be approved by the city, whatever we would do, I'm assuming, right? If it's,
City
it's your property, I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
it's your property,
Yeah.
so, okay. That being said, who would actually physically help us do that? Is there a contractor in town that does that?
Chris
Chris.
Sleaford is the one that did all the trust,
Okay,
he
great.
did all the hillside out here.
Great, they're here in town, I'm assuming?
Yes, he just lives
Great.
right up the top of the
Great,
hill.
I'd love to have a contact with them, if you could send me their contact, I'd be wonderful.
I'm gonna be talking to him tonight.
There you go.
Pass them your card.
Wonderful, that's great, that's wonderful, 'cause that would help, I'd like to share the whole deal, so, I know time frame wise, that's probably the only piece that can happen as we open the doors, cause we're on a tight time frame. But this piece could take some time to get it in place, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, I think it gives us some opportunities to do it the right way. You know, go from there. It's kind of a blank palette right now. I mean, we can build a building, we know what we're gonna do. We have it set up for our needs and what the community needs, but this is kind of a unique opportunity, I think, so, cool.
Okay.
Well, I can't tell you guys thanks enough. It's
Okay.
been great meeting y'all, and it's just good to be here.
Okay.
Great to be here, so, I know Jaimie and I'll probably be talking a lot more about a lot of other things too, but as we keep progressing forward, it's been.
Rick, also on this, cause we're gonna be talking murals, there's also mural ideas on here, so
Oh.
that doesn't necessarily go to you, but, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Put a pin in murals.
Huh?
Put a pin in the murals.
Put a pin in the
The
mural.
next topic.
Well, yeah.
But if you see a mural you like, let us know.
Yeah, if you come through Evansville, River, come up Highway 4, if you're going to the lakes and take that route, you get in the middle of town, Mural Park, it's not Mural Park, it's the bank owns the property. But our local arts council put up a mural, an artist came in and did it, and it tied all the history of the community into one mural. Beautiful mural, so if you get a chance to take a look at it, we're pretty proud of it, so. It took an empty, cruddy looking lot and really transformed it, not to the level you guys have done here. We need to do a lot more, I've told different people that, but,
Do you think you could get us a picture of that?
oh, certainly,
Okay.
I can send it to you easily.
That would be great.
Piece of cake, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It just ties the community in with a lot of things. I'd like to see a bunch more of those go up, but it's a good start for
Yeah,
us, so.
yeah.
But, anything to beautify the
One-
downtowns, we're in.
One step at a time, right?
Exactly, because it all costs money at some point in time. so.
All right, is there anything else that you need from
No,
us?
I just wanna say thanks, guys.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing everybody again, and, if you have questions, my cards are out there, give me a call,
Okay.
okay? All right.
Thank you very
Thanks so
much, sir.
You guys have a nice night.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thank you.
Renee.
Bye, Renee.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
bye,
you.
Renee.
Okay.
By the way, I'm sorry,
Nice
that
to meet
one.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
How cool would that be, to just have that without the man in it, and then people could stand in front of it?
That is.
Is
That
that what
man,
it's supposed to be?
that man isn't there. I mean, that man isn't in the painting.
It's a
Oh,
man
he
in front
kinda
of
almost
it.
looks like he's
Yeah.
painted in there, no, that's why.
No, that's part of the,
All of the
Oh,
people in these are
Real people.
real people
Well,
that
I
are
see
standing in
it
front
in
of a
the
mural.
other ones, but he looked like he was almost painted to me,
Yeah.
so that's why I was.
which I love the artwork we've got around town. I love it. I would love to see artwork that people are gonna take selfies with and post it on Facebook or post it wherever, so that when you Google, some of those images come up.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I enjoyed about Jefferson, was
Yeah.
they had a lot of neat little
mhm.
things like
So
that.
that's,
Okay. So Cassie, is,
Kathy.
how do you?
Kathy,
Kathy, it's just,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
so I
And,
did spell it right then?
no,
No.
No, it's-
no.
It's
With the T.
Yeah. TH.
TH
Yeah,
instead of
TH.
SH.
She's not here, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would be here representing the Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Board. So I can just do this presentation.
okay,
The PRNR is contemplating ways of covering up the graffiti underneath the bridge at the beginning of the Chautauqua Park end of the trails. And we also kind of need a new sign there to, say how long the trail is, all that stuff. And so we got to talking about it at a meeting and decided to come here to see if you guys can if we can start putting our brains together to come up with a mural that would cover up the graffiti and serve as sort of like a sign or whatever, saying you are here. That's the concept. And I don't know if she was gonna say, 5 minutes of other things or whatever, but that's what we're doing.
that's what you're, okay.
Right.
What's your timeline on that, Curtis?
We don't really have we're not in a hurry. It's everything that we're doing with parks right now is gonna come together at the end of 25, beginning of 26. So we've got some time to contemplate it. But we got as far as we could. We have very long meetings with a lot of stuff that we need to talk about, so we're not also like trying to figure out what art is gonna be there. And since we have an arts council, thought we'd shunt it off to you guys to see if we can start having a conversation about what might be appropriate for there.
So would you like us to put together a presentation like the one we had tonight to just kinda get
can, or we can just have the discussion and we'll, you know, make notes about it and just start, we're just starting communication. We've got a lot of, we're a very busy committee who isn't artistic. We're making bridges and stuff.
That one there too, you're gonna want, so we, like on a Freedom Rock, we spray it with anti-graffiti.
Okay, that was gonna be my
Right.
thing, I was like, since it's under a bridge and covering graffiti, like, it's accessible
Is it gonna
to
get-
kids that are.
So there's a
different.
spray you can use, it's anti-graffiti, and it'll come, then you can go in and just spray it off, somebody goes in there
Oh,
with.
really?
Okay.
Yeah, so if somebody happens to spray paint the Freedom Rock or something, you know, graffiti, yeah, we can get it off.
Okay, and I didn't realize that. Under that bridge, it will more often than not be darker. It might be cool if you were to somehow do something with glow in the dark paint or something. That
Well,
might be
it doesn't
cool.
glow in the dark paint have to be a,
I don't know. It's charged by the sun, so to speak.
we could be done with lighting too.
True.
You could do something like that where the lighting is like sticking out from the
Yeah.
mural. But I don't know how you would, because it would
Yeah,
have to be.
okay. So under,
Well, nothing's off the table right now.
yeah,
We just wanna start having the conversation, we just want the Arts Council to start artsing with us. So far what I'm hearing is like, sculpt something in light maybe, maybe have something that's glow in the dark, maybe have a painting that can be lit. Maybe there can be something in the overhead, just some cheap LED lights that, well, that's not cheap, good quality LED lights that are lighting up all the time. And we want it to be sort of like a big welcoming thing to our trails, since a lot of people start there.
uh-huh.
As we get the bridges built and all the stuff, that's gonna be
Would a map be appropriate?
well, that's one of the things we were talking about, because we've got maps at the entrance to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be like a cartoony map of the place, you know, really just brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurt, you've seen some of those like glow in the dark bike trails, haven't you? Yeah. So I mean, that could be part of your start.
Vinton is
To-
Vinton, Iowa has one of those, it's all built into the trail, it's like little pieces of glass with the glow in the dark.
Well, as we know from, the sign situations, outside of town, you gotta have sun.
Right.
Underneath the bridge, kinda,
No, but leading up to it and going out from it could do that.
sure, that could be a cool thing.
Yeah, well, not also aren't
Should put
yellow,
that in
but
the
they could
bike
be.
trail that's going all the way out to Old 71.
Right. Although, I mean, it adds cost to it, so that's one thing to think about, but for certain stretches, it's.
The specific thing we're trying to address is just to make it so that we've got something other than graffiti on the
Yeah.
side of the bridge.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know if, can it be on the agenda next time and we all just think about it and bring ideas back for what could be there? So, kind of the criteria is we want it to be sort of a welcoming thing to the trails. We want it to be it could be kind of a map thing of the trails, because it's meant to replace the standing things that we have at the other trails.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, whatever we can think of.
So you don't want like an angry troll under the bridge.
It could be an angry troll. There would be nothing. That could be kind of
It'd be
neat.
fun.
When the water comes up, how high does it get under there?
It can go all the way.
Whether that would be an issue or not.
We've gotta redo the trails every time the water comes up anyway.
I was gonna say at that point, it should help us underwater anyways, so.
Yeah. It is what it is kind of thing.
So.
Right, that's just our
Right,
problem.
but if we're doing like lighted stuff with electrical, it might not be the best.
Well, LEDs don't really, if you have like, if it's,
I guess you'd have like the IP68 or whatever that would be water resistant or.
that's a word I don't know, but there would just be lighting, like, it doesn't come up, it would have to be a huge event for it to hit the bridge.
Okay.
So if it was
there'd be
So if
bigger
it was
problems.
lighting coming
I was
out of
trying to
the
remember.
bottom of the bridge
Cause I
pointing
remember
at it.
when we walked under the bridge, it was pretty low ceiling, but.
I don't recall it ever
Ever
being up to
going
the
up to the
bridge,
bridge, right.
ever.
So if we had lighting suspended underneath the bridge
It would
pointing
be
at it,
safe from that.
and if it was made out of lighting, like, I don't know, like tube LEDs or something like that, those things, like they have municipal designs for that all over the place where you can,
Okay.
they can be underwater, like that bridge in Des Moines that goes underwater, but it's lit, I don't know where.
What I'll do is take this mural thing off, create a new one, share it again, we can put images on it, and then
Okay, so we need to send ideas to you, and then,
what I'll send you the link and make it so that you guys can put it on there.
oh, okay.
Most of the year, it's not gonna be accessible to, people that wanna do selfies with it,
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that, you know, the sand goes down and then it's in the water and then the wall thing is there.
So you have the internet, I'm gonna step next door and
Okay.
I'm gonna do some work on my computer real quick.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, you know what,
So it'd be more display than an interactive thing.
yeah, I think we can probably be
Done
done.
with it.
This is I think something like this would be cool on Legacy Field down there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think yeah, but I will, yeah.
I'll be next door anytime.
Okay, thank you.
What's the demographic for the trails?
I have no idea.
There's a wide range of people from what you told me about it.
I've been on it and I love it.
It's kind of everything.
It's the perfect, that one is just very nice to take my dog out and,
Is it?
yes.
How many of you been out on the trails?
We were out on the one out, in the park.
Okay.
I haven't been on this one, but just,
Yeah, I was on this one for the night hike, or not the night hike, the trunk or treat when they had it open. But the dog and I go out to the one behind the cemetery all the time.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I
that-
think
There's
that's
just a
really
wide
well
variety of
too.
people out there, I mean, it's young, it's old, it's.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
there is almost always somebody out there, or it used to be.
Oh yeah, we've never been out, we've never been on our alone.
Mhm.
Oh, every time I've been out there, on either one, I'm alone, cause I let Dexter just run. No, you're not supposed to, but I do.
Lucy does too.
We're not telling.
Oh, Curtis is recording, so.
Have to edit that part out.
All right.
Continue on.
On to the next, so planning an event project for 2026 250th birthday of the US.
This is interesting, where did this come from?
It was Lance's idea.
No?
Might have been, but maybe, it might have been Steve's idea that I brought back.
My
'Cause
Steve?
Your Steve, because he's been talking about, we need to start doing up as a community for that, cause that's not that far away.
Yeah.
But, well, we did talk about it, like, for the 125th of the town, I think is when we painted all of the, no, it was 1976. We did. No, it was a national holiday thing. In 1976, we put they painted all of the fire hydrants with themes. You had a contest. Now, I don't know that we'd wanna do that, partly because the Christus just painted them. But I mean, it was something that people still remembered, and really, quite honestly, until the Christus painted them, you could still see a lot of them that were there.
Mhm.
So I mean, it was a lasting kind of a thing. But I think, it could be I think we probably would wanna do an event, we probably, for sure, maybe this is where we're working toward a big mural or something, cause you gotta find the money, you gotta find the artist, and it's already late 2024 here, so, so it's gonna be July 4th-ish, 2026, there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and I would think Sac City will have that. It's an opportunity for us to be part of that, not to run it, but, an event, a project, or it might be like, this is part of our thing, might be just the public art in town, and with a brand new mural that we are, displaying, unveiling that time.
Where would this mural go? That's,
There's a lot of things there's a lot of places you could put it. You could put it like on the,
It's gonna depend on if it's public or private land, or public
Yeah.
or private building.
Right.
That's gonna get. Cause Chamber had some challenges with that, so.
Could it be temporary? could it be a giant canvas that's suspended to the side of one of the panels of the Chautauqua building?
Could be.
Super visible, super cool for the whole year long.
And then we could bring it out for the 4th of July for,
Yeah,
Sort of.
there are,
Rehang it for Chautauqua Days
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
So maybe not 200th birthday theme, but patriotic.
patriotic thing, right?
Well, according to the American Association for State and Local History, who's the national professional association dedicated to helping history community, they have come up with these themes: Unfinished Revolutions, Power of Place, We the People, American Experiment, and Doing History. If that helps us.
The nice part about it being a patriotic of something, and maybe a take on some of those themes, and in the Chautauqua building is you could put it down regularly, I mean, you know, but it would also be on public grounds, so it'd be
Yeah,
easier to talk people into it.
Well, I think we should have and bring back the old Chautauqua, have a speaker in our show,
That would be really cool.
yeah.
do that, and, you know, have camp, you know, I wanna say, you know, the revival theme, but have that people come in and camp, and we have speakers and shows or whatever, bring back your tomato throwing people.
Well, there's been a lot in there, you know, and I will tell you this, some of you probably would remember this, you probably do. You know, when they redid the Chautauqua building in conjunction with something, each town in the county came up with a painting that is on a mural.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we've taken those down while they did the renovation, which makes sense, and there's good discussion about whether those should go back up or not. They don't get rolled down very often. I would be in favor of probably keeping the Sac City one and asking the other towns, do you want yours back? But the decisions have to be made there, but just bear in mind that having something that rolls down, in theory sounds good, but it doesn't happen as often as you
Right.
think. And you gotta make sure you got the right stuff for paint. One of the towns didn't follow the directions and they used a different kind of paint, so there's kind of cracking a little bit, and, but the Chautauqua building is certainly a possibility. I just think it's one of those, just like we're doing tonight for Rick, but like maybe by this fall, we've decided what we're gonna do, or by, and then get working toward it. But to me, the bigger thing, like, do we wanna do a big to-do?
Well, this thing I'm describing, I guess, that would go from ground to ceiling at the Chautauqua building on that front panel that, you know, is lit up at night.
Okay,
This,
on the back of the stage, essentially.
no.
No,
Okay, let me just, so, on the Chautauqua building, it's got sides,
yeah,
and there's one side that faces the highway and everything, and it's lit up at night by that light that's in the ground. So, the thing I was suggesting, and it doesn't have to be this,
Yeah.
is that it would just go from ground to ceiling, it would be a giant
a
mural
giant mural.
that could go there,
It's
and it
there.
would be lit up at night, it's already built in, we could enhance the lights and make it
Sure.
better. And it could be, and
well, people would see
I
it.
said giant canvas earlier, but it could just be also 4x8 pieces of stuff that are taken down and could be reinstalled reasonably easy, you know, I'm saying reasonably easy, like I wouldn't wanna do it all day, but, you know, 5 city workers on scaffolds could get it done quick. And it could be reinstalled for like a Chautauqua Days as part of the, you know, dressing the town up thing and brought back down, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
As opposed to like a canvas that needs to somehow be preserved and rolled up and
Right.
painted.
Right.
And if that's the case, by the way, it can also be rendered like in a vinyl banner kind of thing
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
wear
That's what
out,
I was
Easy
thinking,
enough,
that's gonna
yeah.
be a little tougher.
rather than painted.
So it sounds like we need to kind of think about this, bring it back next time, and go with that. Does that sound
Yeah.
good?
Well, I also just wanna make sure it gets said out loud, we could paint Main Street too.
Kind of a chalk the walk type thing?
Kinda, yeah, it could be like a, paint the downtown block, make it just a big patriotic thing, so all year long you'd be sort of, I mean, I know with wear and stuff, but there are traffic paints you can use that are not just in the colors, you know, and, it could be that too, something.
Okay. Alright. we'll go on to the next, planning an event for Chautauqua Days for 2025 all-school reunion.
Who brought this?
That's gotta be a Lance.
Probably me, just because, you know, we'll have a lot of people in town. I mean, I've already had people asking where can they stay, so there's people coming back. We usually get a pretty good group back. I think again, it's an opportunity for us to, where we know we'll have a lot of people in town, to put an event on. Maybe it's something, I don't know that it would be the best time for the camp out and
Right.
reenact, but that might be part of the bigger 2026 thing. But we could put on,
Would that be a good time? I was thinking, the trombone or brass,
something
yeah.
like that.
yeah, from University of Iowa, something.
And I'm planning on calling the art share people here once school
Right.
gets started at Iowa City, and just say, was actually interested in, having you guys come up for something. It could be a poetry something, it could be, they do lots of stuff. But having like a performance like that, maybe on that Friday night of, because the 4th of July next year will be Friday, and the all-school reunion will be Saturday. And so we might do fireworks on Friday night, and so there could be something in the Chautauqua building that we put on that Friday night. Come to that, come watch fireworks, and there's a lot of a variety show. Could be I really thought that was a hit. I think if we do something like that again, we'll get a bigger crowd. So it was great PR for the schools. The kids loved it. So, and if it all it costs us is feeding the people, it's not bad. A lot less work than the play you guys are putting on.
It might be cool if we were to do something that's, that people can do like at their own time, their own pace. I'm kind of melding lots of different things here, like with geocaching, and then at the Olympics, they did the thing where they hid they call them Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Okay, so they hid things, so if we were to do something like that, hide the Easter eggs around the community, not necessarily that people would take, but if they take a picture of, and if you come to X and you have all of them, then you get, I don't know, a Sac City coffee cup, I don't know.
Well,
If
we
I
could
were,
do like
if I were doing an Easter egg search of that sort and it was a thing I was able to carry away, I would,
You would?
yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
We need to
what
plan on
if
that.
it was like you're saying, like a scavenger hunt of like local art, where take a
Right.
selfie with this, and then at the end of the night you gotta present them all to somebody, and
Where
they can do it throughout the weekend, and
Or put somewhere so that it would, like a continuous loop of images that would show at the, so
Yeah.
thinking along something like that.
That gets people out to see the art in the community.
Yeah.
Get you into that selfie kind of thing. Maybe we'll have another thing painted, it'd be another cool save the selfie thing by then, and,
How many people need places to stay?
Well, considering how many places we have to stay in town, I mean, they're already booking, like at the Cobblestone, like you, cause everything else here is gonna be full. So,
So if we were to create sort of a little,
you don't wanna do that.
don't wanna do what?
Housing Bureau? No.
I was gonna say, we
Well,
could just put Curtis with a tent down here, and
Sure.
their tents around
We
it.
could rent tents
He
out.
can cook for them and entertain them, and
No, is the TV across the thing
It's
there
gone.
available? I don't know what you're
I
saying,
mean,
Chris,
That's exactly what I was thinking. If there were people that wanted to camp, we could expand.
no, nobody
into-
will want to camp.
Oh, there might be some.
Well, okay.
One or two.
I think, yeah, there might be some who, I mean, not
I wouldn't
camp
want
in a tent, but if they have a camper,
I guess I'm thinking more something like glamping.
oh, okay.
Sort of like building temporary cabins that are, air conditioned. Cause we can afford to run that for a day. So people have a place to stay and then they would all just be sort
It's
of
not
central.
that, it's not worth that much work. I just,
Well, that's why I was asking how many people are kind of.
well, they'll just stay in Carroll, or they'll stay in Storm Lake, and they'll drive down, it's not worth. But now, when you start talking about the thing that Mark was talking about, where you're putting on, well, it used to be a week-long Chautauqua, where people really physically camped in tents. for something like that, then it might start to become more, those people, somebody might say, well, that's cool, I'll go down and glamp and then we'll go over and watch a show, and then we'll come back and do some s'mores, but not for the Ulster reunion, they don't wanna do that, they just wanna come, drink beer, talk to friends, leave.
I think having an old fashioned, like Chautauqua Day would be really neat.
Alright, so again, I think back on the agenda for next time, probably. Public art tour.
Well, Sam, you talked about what they did in Jefferson, we talked
Sioux
about,
City has got one too that they do.
Do we have like, what's the right way to say this? Exciting enough art with enough history to sort of be interesting for people to tour? Cause we've got some cool stuff, but it's not
Right.
the same as like
And some of it
in
is,
1863.
yeah,
I would think you might wanna do it in conjunction with something like, where people are already in town, like for the quilt affair, and that from 2 to 4, or from at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, we're running a tour in for the people that are tired of looking at quilts, or the husbands that are trying to kill time, they could go do a tour. I mean, it would be, I think you'd wanna do it in conjunction with something else.
unless you made it the event. I know,
But
in
yeah.
Sioux City,
it's,
they do, every year, they redo the murals. And it's a art alley, they call it.
Sure.
And you get to go and watch, there are certain people that are picked to do the art and paint the art, you can go watch them do the art. The alley between Rosie's and Cattleman's could be a cool spot to do that. Cattleman's building is the one that it would be painted on, I think, because they have those windows that are framed out, and you do individual pictures in there. That might be cool. That is private property, and we've got to have to get their permission, and I mean, it gets a little messier, but something like that might be cool. I don't think we're ready to take something like that on, but it could be cool.
Not in time for the
Oh.
next year's summer.
No,
So
getting the
this
artists, and
maybe sounds like we got enough on our plate right now,
I think
so
so.
we should put this off for a while.
So I'll just say these things out loud then. Back in the 80s when the Sac County, what's the thing that Brandy is the head of now? Economic Development. Their first thing they ever did was renting a bus and taking a tour of historic locations around Lakeview. They would go around the lake and give a history of, like, you get on this thing downtown and ride around the lake and see, like, something like that, only Sac City historical locations. I'm just saying these things out loud so that we think of them. And Bruce used to do like a animated tour of famous people in the cemetery.
Well, Bruce and Lance one year, cause I believe you took me and Jaimie around,
And probably Lance,
took
you-
us around to, different storefronts, and we kinda stood in front of the different stores, and
we talked about what the
The his-
store was, the history of it.
yeah, and I loved it. I mean, I don't know how well it went over, but I
that
enjoyed
could be
it,
very interesting to old guys stuck at the quilt fair.
yeah. Well, I mean, good gosh, we could have a chili cook-off for them, and they'd be,
And like I said, sometimes it's the event itself, or sometimes
Yeah.
it's the, but, you know, that, part of the, we did that, I think, as part of the chamber stuff, because it's, when they're affiliated with Main Street, you got to do a certain art kind of stuff. Sometimes you got really good turnout, sometimes we had, we did like some of the grave cleaning with that. So you can combine a lot of that, it could be an art, history, ghost and vampire tour, you know, whatever. It could be multiple things to appeal more than one person. As you're driving around town, talking about this, you can say, I noticed this art, and then this was the place where this happened, and this. It isn't totally art, but it's
Part of it.
but it's
Alright.
part of it.
Alright, I agree with, we've got some great ideas. I kind of agree with Sam that we've got a lot going right now, maybe this thing,
I think you wanna pick about one of these things a year,
Right.
and big things like that.
yeah.
Well, we're new, and there's a lot of ideas flying around. There's
Right.
a lot of creativity in this town. So we just need to maybe just have a catalog. Maybe what we need to do is just create a catalog of ideas.
Okay.
That's easy to access. It could be on our page at saccity.city/sac arts council or whatever, and people can just see the things we're talking about, and then we see who materializes and gets excited.
That sounds like a creative director's position
Well, I know Mark and I have another meeting at 7, so I'm gonna
Okay.
keep
Keep us
moving.
moving.
Yeah.
Keep us moving.
Update from community theater, Lance, can you kinda?
Yeah, we've read a couple scripts, we have a couple picked out, it'll depend on how many kids we have, there's gonna be an introductory community meeting the first, like, Tuesday after school starts or something like that, or maybe it's a week after that. Rehearsals will start in September, we've got a rough, budget kind of planned up, it's gonna be about the same as last year, if people wanna look at these numbers, that I've got extras, about $1,700 in expenditures, predicting about 1,200 income. Some of that expenditures will depend on whether we can get some, like right now, we got $500 budgeted for set construction. We may be able to get some of the paint donated, so that number will be considerably less. I know Ree wanted to do some t-shirts, plus we're gonna be doing more costumes this year, so we've got a $700 costume budget.
So the costume is included in that.
Yeah.
A rough
Maybe.
estimate.
Yeah, we've not done costumes before, so I have no idea how much
We're
it's
making
gonna
a guess,
cost.
yeah.
We just kinda guessed.
Well, I look at it this way, you know, last year, I think you maybe even made money on the show you did. It
Yeah.
certainly it was a little ahead, I think.
Yeah,
If it ends up being a little more money expense than we bring in, that's what we have the budget for, that's what we're
And
giving
that-
money for.
and that was kind
And
of.
I,
the
you know,
thought,
you're
so-
$500 apart in your estimates, and
Yeah,
I just say that sounds reasonable and start moving forward, because we don't have to make money on this stuff.
yeah.
That's not the goal.
That's not the goal, it isn't, if we happen to, great,
Mm-hmm.
it's more money for something else, but if you, I just say that sounds very reasonable, and you should just proceed.
Also, in conjunction with that, I did take one of the new mics down to the kids' day at the fair and use that when I was doing kids' games. And, they work really, really well, but I was down there, I was talking to Leroy Chantal, however you
Sure,
pronounce his
Leroy.
name. The guy that does all the audio for the fair, he does the Thresherman, he does the Wall Lake Farm Fest thing. And he seemed very open to helping with that.
Awesome.
And he's, when I showed him the mic that I got, he's like, yeah, I've got a bunch of those, he's like, that's exactly what I have. And it sounded like he may be willing to donate some time and maybe let us borrow some of the other microphones.
That would be amazing.
For that, so I've got his contact information.
Great.
We'll be in contact with him later.
And you
Nice.
know, he's not expensive. If we had him just do sound for us in places where sound doesn't exist, that might be cheaper than trying to buy enough sound to do
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff.
and then storing it and having it, yeah.
I don't mean cheap or any cost.
Yeah. Almost you got somebody that really knows what they're doing,
Yeah, well, he's been doing it for 30 years.
so.
That's huge value there. All right, anything else?
I think that's it with the community theater, unless anybody's got any
Dates have
questions.
changed.
Did I pass the background check?
I don't know,
The dates have changed, it's the 26th and 27th of October.
we're going Friday, Saturday.
No, we're doing
No,
Saturday, Sunday now,
Sunday,
because Friday is playoffs, football playoffs.
that's right.
That's last text I got
So,
anyway.
yeah, okay, so.
I got lost in that thread.
Okay, so the
March,
dates had
September.
changed, and then they're back to the original.
26, 27.
26, 27.
2 o'clock.
Okay, I was gonna say, she had told me they changed, and then she's like, no, we're going back,
They were
so.
gonna change, but we had a conflict,
I'm
and
not
so
gonna be around.
then we talked about going Friday, Saturday, we talked about going Friday, Saturday the week after, because by then football was over,
Mhm.
but that wasn't gonna work for Reese, so then we were gonna do it Friday, Saturday, the weekend that we were gonna do it, but Friday is football playoffs, and let's just do it Saturday, Sunday, so.
It just gets,
Nothing has changed with the date.
okay. Curtis background check, did we do a background
I
check?
did not do one on him. because I
Okay.
didn't-
So
No, where
I
we
will
were
make
on
a
that.
motion for there to be a background check on Curtis.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those who approve say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Or not.
Pardon?
Or not.
Lance? Lanes. Okay,
I'll abstain.
you'll abstain.
I just need to get do I have your email address?
I'll give it all to you.
Okay.
Give me a list of what you need.
Okay, 3-minute preview of at Porktoberfest.
I am so excited and down with this to do it. What have you guys decided about that?
We haven't really talked. I think it would be doable. I mean, Abby obviously wouldn't be able to help with it because she's gonna be working the shop and
I'm gonna be gone.
you're gonna be gone. So if we can talk to Hally, the girl that's gonna be helping out, and she's got the time to do it, I mean, I think we should, but.
And if you're willing to help,
For sure.
Okay.
We just need to talk to Chamber about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
look at that, okay.
We may or may not be meeting this week, I don't know.
Cause I would think it would be maybe
But,
just a small section from the play and then maybe 2 or 3 of your poetry kids, probably older ones.
Yeah,
Just doing 1 or 2, and that would be more than enough.
yeah,
Cause by then we will only have been rehearsing, 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah. so, okay,
I'll take it to the Chamber.
all right, thank you, Mark. Middle school update. I don't know as if there's
What
any
does that
really.
mean?
I didn't
Oh,
know,
that,
I didn't know if I should leave that on the agenda so we can talk about it
Well,
each time, or.
they had a deadline, the contractor, developer wanted something done by August. Would Jaimie know a little bit more?
I can run next door and get you.
Yeah, why don't you get Jaimie, he should know.
Yeah. While
So, I'm sorry,
go ahead.
do I need to leave that on there for each time, or,
I don't think there's any harm in it.
No,
and,
if there's nothing new, we skip over it.
Right.
okay,
But at some point, assuming the thing moves forward, we're gonna wanna start thinking, what kind of programming do we wanna be involved in? So I'd say leave it on there. Unless Jaimie tells us it's off.
Then it's, while we're waiting, Lance, you wanna do the financial?
Sure.
That's our next bit.
Really no change from last
Okay.
month. The only thing, I think the city did pay the bills. There's a little discrepancy in what the city says we have. They actually say we have about $103 more than I think we have, but I'll go with the city numbers, so,
at least it's a positive.
That's right.
That's right, it's better.
yeah.
Okay.
It looks
Scratch
like,
it out, write the new number.
yeah, it looks like according to Jamie, we got $3,080.79 rather than the $29.77, but
Okay.
otherwise, everything matches.
All right. Middle school.
Before he does his whole thing, I
Yes.
just wanna say, for the middle school update topic, we got the pianos moved in.
I'm so
the-
excited about that.
Bruce's estate paid $800 for $850. They committed to 5, so we need to come up with $350.
That's on the agenda to approve tonight, or.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anything new at the middle school happening, Jaimie, or
Yep,
anything that
so,
we need to know?
as far as getting everything completed, it's still, it's a process.
It is.
And Steve, Brandy and I are working with the owners, to get this completed, and, working with some other people to potentially fund the project, so we're in the midst of that. I've got a meeting with, we're trying to get a meeting with Brandon Steiger to do some work with him, kind of tie the community center into it and all that, so, we've had some scheduling conflicts to get everyone together. But, I think it's moving forward, it's just a process to get all the.
It's a brutal pace, it's just
It
hard,
is, and it's
especially
gonna take
during the
some
summer.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a lot to add to it, it's
Okay.
just, we're moving along, it's just.
Okay.
It was
Yes.
mostly, he wanted some sort of idea on what was gonna happen by August. So as long as you're in contact with him and like it's all still moving forward,
Yep.
even if it's at a snail's pace, like that's cool, but.
So
Yep.
there's nothing that you need from us as a committee or individuals?
No, not right now.
And just a question, and this isn't, trying to pressure you into do anything, but do you have sort of a rough new timeframe?
I feel pressured.
Like, can we be in there next weekend?
Yeah.
The
We're
timeframe
coming up in
depends on
October,
the
just
amount.
saying.
It depends, I think we got the HVAC, quote, and that was gonna run about I think $350,000 to do all that, that's the big expense.
Sure.
There's lighting in there already, I think it could be upgraded at least temporarily to meet our needs.
Actually, we went in and tested the lighting, Brandy and I, and
There's
they
some
were,
bulbs
they're
out.
fine, there's a couple bulbs out
Yeah.
there, yeah.
We need to
Otherwise,
check that.
it works beautifully.
And then the sound system will have to be upgraded. And a few things like that. So once we get to that point where, once the HVAC's installed and we get the meat of the building ready and need to start, doing some of the, things that involve what you need to have a performance there, that's probably when we'd probably ask the art council to get more involved.
Okay. Alright, sounds good. Okay, thank you, sir. Alright.
We get a lot of pressure.
Alright, back to the bills, Haley and Abby background checks, we need,
motions.
Didn't we approve those last?
that's what I thought.
No,
No,
we
they
didn't
weren't on
know
the
it,
agenda.
they were not on the agenda.
I would make a motion to pay those bills.
Second.
All those who approve say aye,
Uh,
opposed, same sign. Alright, and then the $350 piano moving cost.
Okay, I already sort of talked about that.
You did,
It was $800 to move it, $850 to move it, Bruce's estate is paying $500, they want us to raise the $350.
I would move we pay that out of our city budget.
okay, thank you, Lance, is there a second?
I'd second that.
Thank you, all those who approve say aye,
Aye.
opposed, same sign.
I'll let Brandy know.
Okay, thank you.
Real quick, tangentially related, we talked a little bit over thinking about getting those tuned, is that still something that we need to do?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'll bring the information to the next, meeting.
Okay, so
I've got the details for that, kind of who we should probably hire.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, community theater budget review,
We talked about that.
so we kinda did that, so yeah, that's good.
So do we need to make a motion on it though, to approve it, or?
Sure, yeah,
Okay,
probably.
So
Is-
moved.
Remind me just, capsule here, what amount we're voting on?
$1,700 expenditure, guesstimated 1,200 income, so like 500-ish.
but all guessing from,
Yeah.
Right.
From our one previous, so.
from our vast experience.
I would
I'm
move
just
that
keeping my
we-
AI from getting confused when it listens to this.
I would move that we approve the tentative budget for the community theater.
Okay, is there a second? Thank you. All those who approve say aye.
Okay, who just first?
Mark
I thought
second.
Mark first did,
Okay.
so that's why.
We'll give it to Lance.
Okay, so Lance Wilhelm is first, who was second?
Mark.
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Alright. So we've got that. Next meeting is September 16th on the 2024, 5:30 here at City Hall. And we'll see y'all then.
Oh, no one made a motion to, approve the agenda, we have to start over.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. You were not.
Okay,
But
is
you
there-
made a motion to-
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those who agree say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're out of here like a bird of
Could you
trees.
add to the next agenda